This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, friends. We're continuing in Berura Daf HaShavua. We're learning Siman, Kuf, Chaf, Vav. We're in the middle of Seif Gimel. Siman, Kuf, Chaf, Vav, Seif Gimel. The Mechaber said that any time a Yachid has to go back and daven, a Shliach Tzibbur has to go back and daven if he made a mistake in the Chazaras Hashatz. Except for Shachris on Rosh Chodesh, that if the Shliach Tzibbur forgot Ya'al V'Yavai and he finished his tefillah, he doesn't have to go back because it's Tercha de Tzibbura, because he still has Musaf ahead of him. But if he remembered before his tefillah, he goes back to Eruvin, and it's not considered a Tercha de Tzibbura. Okay, now if you look in the Ramah, Haga, Yeshayimrim, the Imta b'shachar shel Shabbos v'yamtav dinoi k'may Rosh Chodesh v'alchinag. Some say that if he made a mistake in the Shachris of Shabbos and Yom Tov, it has the same din as Rosh Chodesh, and that's the minhag. What does that mean? It says Mishna Ratzalaymar, Sheshachach v'espalo shachal. Let's say he forgot and he davened a weekday Shemone Esrei. And he didn't mention Shabbos or Yom Tov, and he finished his tefillah, it's also okay because he can rely on Musaf. But if you remember before he finished the tefillah, he goes back to Yismach Moshe, the Rama is sort of not mashma that way, because the Shulchan Aruch there writes that if he made a mistake and he davened weekday on Shabbos and he didn't mention Shabbos, if he's Oika Raglav, he goes to the beginning of tefillah, and if he's Lo Oika Raglav, he just goes back to Shabbos. And the Ramah says, Ayin Siman Kuf Chavav. What does the Ramah mean, Ayin Siman Kuf Chavav? L'chor, what he means is that a Shatz is not like a Yachid. And even if he didn't finish his tefillah, he doesn't have to go back. Because we're saying, Im Ta b'shachar shel Shabbos, it's like Rosh Chodesh. Meaning, the Shulchan Aruch there says, if you daven the weekday Shemone Esrei on Shabbos, Akar Raglav, Chayzel Rosh HaTfilah. Lo Akar Raglav, you only go back to Ata V'chartanu. What are we saying over here? That we're saying that on Shabbos, if Akar Raglav, then again, look at this Mishnah Berura. The Mishnah Berura says if you daven the weekday Shemone Esrei on Shabbos, then you don't go back. Here the Mishnah Berura says you don't go back, but if you remembered before you're finished the tefillah, you go back to the middle part of the Shemone Esrei. The Shulchan Aruch says earlier that Imakar Raglav, you do go back. And the Ramah is saying, no, not so fast. Look later on. It seems like the way the Mishnah Berura is gripping what the Ramah said earlier is that you would not have to go back even if you did not finish your Shemone Esrei, which is not necessary. In other words, this Ramah that says that Ta b'shachar shel Shabbos v'Yom Tov is like Rosh Chodesh, the Mishnah Berura here, what does that mean? It's like Rosh Chodesh. It means like what the Mishnah Berura says over here, that if you remembered before you finish your tefillah, you go back to Yismach Moshe. And the Ramah later on somehow is not mashma that way. That's mashma even if you're mil Shemone Esrei, you don't have to go back. Okay. Dinoi kamay b'Rosh Chodesh halvush hevi deos b'zeh. The Levush brings various opinions. V'lo hechriya. He does not decide. Aval achroinim kasvu karav. The achroinim are machriya like the Rama. Sif Daled. Im tosh liach tzibur k'shespala b'lachash. If the Shliach Tzibbur made a mistake when he davened quietly, he will never daven another Salan Shemone Esrei. Why? He could always rely on his Chazar Sashatz. That's provided he didn't make a mistake in the first three. This din that a Shliach Tzibur who made a mistake does not have to go back, that is only talking about a Shliach Tzibur that made a mistake in the rest of Shemone Esrei. But a Shliach Tzibur that made a mistake in the first three, he would go back. That's a very big chiddush. Says the Mishna Berura of Katan Tazayin Soymech. If he made a mistake in Marav, he'll have to go back. He doesn't have a Chazar Sashatz to rely on. If on Shabbos, this is amazing. Let's say on Shabbos, a Chazan forgot to say Hamelech HaKadosh. In his silent Shemone Esrei, he could rely on Bracha Achas Me'ein Sheva to be Yotzei his Shemone Esrei. Umiyu b'Shabbos yismach habracha me'ein sheva. D'lo gara miyachid shesamech alav k'besimin reish samaches. Now, what about like this? A chazan forgot Yalav Yavai, and he's up to Sim Shalom. What does he do? He doesn't go back. Does he finish? He stops, drops, and rolls. Meaning, a chazan that makes a mistake where he would have to go back, but we don't make him go back, he calls it a day. He just retires. He puts that Shemone Esrei into retirement. In other words, he doesn't go back, but he can't go forward, so he just stops. That's a good trivia question. What's an example? How could somebody make a mistake in Shemone Esrei, have to go back, not go back, and not go forward? If you're a Shliach Tzibur that makes a mistake in the Shemone Esrei. In Shachris and Mincha, that a Shatz could be Yotzi is Chiyuv, with Chazar Sashatz, Reb Chaim Kanievsky says, that's only if he knew before Chazar Sashatz from the mistake. But let's say the Shatz didn't remember that he made a mistake. Let's say like this: the Shatz forgot Yalav Yavai, but he didn't realize he forgot Yalav Yavai until after the Chazar Sashatz. He's going to have to daven a silent Shemone Esrei, because Chazar Sashatz only helps if you're mechavein that the Chazar Sashatz should work for your silent Shemone Esrei. But if you didn't have that in mind, Reb Chaim Kanievsky says it doesn't work. That's a big chiddush. I maybe would not have said that. Why wouldn't I have said that? Why would I not have said what?
It's not mechavein in its regular silent Shemone Esrei. It has to be a silent Shemone Esrei. But that works.
Now I'm saying, even though mitzvah tzrichas kavana, but he has kavana to daven. You need mitzvah tzrichas kavana to be yotzei the din silent Shemone Esrei. The guy's davening Chazar Sashatz. Doesn't work for him. Wow, that's a very interesting one.
Why did you do not a hefsek for him in his silent Shemone Esrei?
The Tilo David says, the Mishna Berura said earlier in Siman Kuf Ches Siv Katan Daled that it's not considered a hefsek. The Mishna Berura spoke about that. We discussed this earlier when you want to be Yotzei Chazar Sashatz in Siman Kuf Ches Siv Katan Daled. Let's see if they can. The case over there was, you made a mistake, or let's say you didn't daven Shachris, you could daven Mincha twice. Or, if you're a Shliach Tzibur, you could be Yotzi with Chazar Sashatz. So the Shalom Meshiv says, let's say like this. Let's say you forgot Marav. You could be a chazan for Shachas and daven twice. And Berchas Kaihanim is not a hefsek. Or Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, the piyutim are not a hefsek. It's not a hefsek. Okay, but a shatz cannot rely on chazas hashatz if he makes a mistake in the first three. It says Mishbura v'davka kisher nizgar koydem sheshlam tfilasai. Davka, if you remembered before you completed your tefillah, the les bezat terch tzibur kolkach. There's not so much tercha de tzibur aval achar shehishlam tfilasai. But after you complete your tefillah, einay chayzer. You don't have to go back. This din that a shatz cannot rely on his chazara. If he makes a mistake in the first three, that's if he's still in his silent Shemone Esrei. But if he already finished his silent Shemone Esrei, he does not have to say it again because of Terchat Tzibura, Ken Kazav Avosh, V'chein Eskimo Yimai Harei Achroinim, Uvetor Paleg. The Torah argues on Meka Afilu B'Shos Rishonis B'Chol Gavnei. The Torah argues on what the Mechaber says, that even if you made a mistake in the first three, V'Hasoymech Alav Lo Yifsid, and if you rely on that, you don't lose out. Now what's interesting is that the din of the Shulchan Aruch, that if you make a mistake in the first three, you have to go back, that's only if you're still in the middle of Shemone Esrei. If you're not in the middle of Shemone Esrei, you don't have to go back. And you could rely on the Chazar Sashatz because of Tercha de Tzibura. Why don't we say, no, daven the Chazar Sashatz, and then afterwards, when everyone goes home, then you daven your silent Shemone Esrei. And that's not a Tercha de Tzibura. I guess that much we're not going to be matriach the person himself. Okay, Rabbi, so we'll hold over here. We'll pick it up tomorrow. So here's the plan. Tomorrow we do the first half of Kuf Chav Zayin. Tainus Esther, we do the second half of Kuf Chav Zayin. And over Purim, whoever comes to your house, you sign them up to join us on Monday for the beginning of Chelek Beis. You only have to give, by the way, one Shalach Manas. So give one Shalach Manas, and all the others, it should be a package of how they could sign up for a Chelek Beis and Mishna Berura. Hatzlach, everyone. Have a good day. Kol Tov.
Recording stop.
Yes.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.